In this review, we're looking at one of Kia's fun and affordable offerings. Now, if we can just get that stinger out of the shot, please.
Hello viewers, and welcome back to Exhaust Notes Australia. Today I'm in Kia's smallest car, the Kia Picanto, and in GT-Line trim. It's almost the cheapest car that they have on offer. The online consensus appears to be that Picanto originates from the word Picante, meaning spicy. And while the numbers aren't likely to blow you away from this 1.2 litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, well, we're just going to find out. Is this more of a paprika or is it a spicy habanero? From that 4-cylinder engine, we have all of 62 kilowatts and 122 newton meters of torque. You probably already guessed we've got to rev this thing quite a bit to get it going, but for a small city car, it's actually not too bad once you get up and running. It kind of reminds me of my first car all those years back. It's very basic, very simple, and a 5-speed manual in this one. It's kind of nice. Price-wise for this vehicle as we sit in it, we're looking at $22,490 for the GT-Line, but you can get the Picanto Sport model for $20,690. You just miss out on a couple of little features here and there. And for an automatic, it's just $1,000 more. So the Picanto sits quite well amongst its competitors, and I guess so what you'd be looking at is what kind of features those different cars offer. And I'd say that the Picanto, especially in GT line, doesn't miss out on too much for a car at this price. Certainly it's not going to come with everything, but what it does come with, I think, is pretty decent for anyone who's looking for a nice little small city car, or perhaps even a first car. Being an affordable small hatch, there's not much for soundproofing in here. You can hear just about everything. The road noise is quite loud, and that could come down to just the fact that there is no sound deadening. The doors can feel like they're made of cardboard in some cases. The tyres may also be part of the problem, but it's just something you kind of have to accept at this price point, I suppose. Even with the radio off and you activate the windscreen wipers, you can hear the little motors going. We have a nice little display here. It does not indicate a red line, which for a manual I think is a bit of an issue. You can see, you get the graphics are fine. You can change the colors between this. There's a purple, sort of a pinky red, and a blue. But yeah, it gives you enough information. But I still think in a manual it's good to know where your red line is, so you don't go too close to it. Although maybe it's not too much of an issue in this car. We have an 8-inch infotainment screen here, which is big enough considering the size of the car. And we have the benefit of wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is great. And you do need that because it's the only way you're going to get your satellite navigation is through your phone. Standard air conditioning here. The car's so small you don't really need climate control. It's pretty adequate, I've got to say. And we have a USB-A, USB-C up front, and a 12-volt and a USB in the back. We even have basic cruise control. You have phone controls here on the steering wheel. And alright, so 0 to 100 eventually. Let's see if we can get a run here as we get onto the motorway. We're in a bit of traffic, so we are at the mercy of everyone around us, unfortunately. do find that the engine will rev. But yeah, definitely if you're going uphill, you want to be dropping down those gears just to get you going. As I mentioned, that road noise does come through, and you do pretty much feel every bump. For a small car, we're riding on 16s in the GT line, and I feel like I've had to raise my voice just a little bit more now. With the Sport model, you get 14-inch wheels, so you'll have a little bit more tyre wall. I don't know if that's going to improve the comfort in any way, or the road noise. Probably not. But yes, we have blind spot monitoring in the mirrors, which is handy. We have decent safety features for a car this size. We do have front collision warning, lane keeping warnings. We have reverse camera with guidelines. So, like I was saying, the tech in this is pretty up there for a car so small and so, so well priced. Parking spaces do feel massive in this. You're well into the parking spot and you think, hang on, it's still going. It's just a size thing. But unfortunately, being a small car, there are some things you need to consider. The second row is quite tight. I don't imagine I'm going to have a good time if I had to sit back there. We have managed to get a booster seat in the back. Even then, my 6-year-old daughter, this is the first time that she's actually had a car that she would have to be concerned about the legroom back there. I really don't think you're going to get a rear-facing baby seat or capsule back there at all. Visibility all around is pretty good just due to how this is designed. We have a massive front window, huge windows. I can look around and know pretty much what's going on. Fuel economy is not too bad, and I suppose you're going to expect that from such a small engine, but in my time with the car so far, I've been averaging 5.3 litres to the 100, and of course this will take all the cheap fuel. It doesn't need anything special, so we're saving in all those ways as well. Down by the gear lever, okay, so the gear shift is nothing special, but it does the job. There are a couple of blanked out buttons that even in a GT line trim would be a bit surprising, but I think that those will probably be for your drive modes and the automatic options. Obviously, in a manual, you set the drive mode yourself in how you want the car to rev and respond. The basic cruise control's okay. We don't have any of the radar cruise, so it's not going to detect the vehicle in front and slow you down, speed you up, or anything like that. Just something to be aware of. It's just something I guess we've been spoiled with in more recent times in how radar cruise works. And obviously, being a manual, as soon as you depress the clutch, you're going to deactivate the cruise control in doing that. Now, obviously, at 22,500, we can't be expecting too much here. There is a lot of plastic around. This steering wheel has this weird perforated kind of grip on it, and I've got to admit that I'm not a fan. It just feels odd, and it leaves marks on your hands if you're holding it for too long. That's your 9 and 3 position. Yeah, so I'm not the biggest fan of that. Even though they've tried to give the steering wheel this sporty look in what they call the D cut. Interesting that the GT line comes with it and the Sport model doesn't. But it has that look about it. It's fine. Again, maybe we've just been spoiled with how other cars are. I don't know. I think this could feel nicer. That's just, I guess, my really basic opinion there. Controls here are all fine. We do have tactile buttons and knobs, which is good, but navigating the screen, you do have to get used to that, and sometimes, particularly in Android Auto, finding the right button can be a little bit difficult whilst you're on the go, especially when you want your eyes on the road and not on the screen. We have a lot of decent cubbies around, little trays to hold your phones or different items. Two cup holders in the front, little cubbies here by the handbrake and things like that, and in the doors, plenty of consideration given to storage, which is good. We don't have a wireless charger for the phone, so you will have to plug that in if you need to. But that's fine. Again, I keep coming back to it. Like at this price, that's fine. It is a bit of a shame because you do have obviously the wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, so then to have to plug it in kind of removes the need for that. But you get by. The styling is very much Kia boxiness. Everything is straightened off, straight lines, right angles, you name it. The front and rear lights are all of that new design, pretty much in line with the new Sorento, Carnival, well, any of the new Kias now, with the right angled daytime running lights. It's just very boxy in its overall appearance. That's just Kia's style right now. In here, inside, there's a few more curves, but yeah, it's just boxy in all of its appearances. Even the wheels, 16-inch, but just lots of straight lines in the design and stuff. So just very much in line with Kia's 2024 facade at the moment. So whether that's for you or not, I guess is something to think about too. So it's quite a good package, I mean, it is a 5-seater in here, and quite ambitiously, there are 3 tether points across the second row. I doubt you get 3 booster seats or child seats across there, but you have the option should you wish to. The boot doesn't look big, but it is 255 litres. It's quite deep, and it does have the spare wheel under there as well, and which all just seems to sit over the rear axle. Again, the car is packaged quite cleverly. So it's 255 litres with the seats up, and if you fold the second row down flat, that's then opens up to 1,010 litres, which I think for the size of the car, I think you're doing all right. But as for me, at 182 centimeters tall, I mean, I'm sitting as best I can in here, and I probably would feel more comfortable sitting in the back seat, but the steering wheel just doesn't come far enough forward for me. But as with regard to the pedals, this is all okay. The pedals do kind of feel a little plasticky, even though they are advertised as being metal. Probably is just the pedal covers, if I'm honest. But, that's fine. Again, with how this car is packaged, when I look in the rearview mirror, I can basically see half of my face, but that's okay. It's airy enough, and it's doing its job. I know what's behind me. I can see out the back. This is just one of those cars where the dimensions just help it, rather than things that are getting bigger and bigger these days. So that all works really well. I can't fault this based on where it's priced at and what it offers, because whilst this may not be a car that I would seek or look to buy, I can definitely see that as it is offered, it's great. It's fun. It can definitely be fun anyway. This is around. It's set up pretty well. It does hold on, especially in the corners. Just goes. And you can just, you can, when you need to give it some foot to the floor, and it'll get going if you've just got the right gear, which is half the fun of driving a manual anyway. So yeah, I think that's about it really. It's a nice, affordable, cheap in an endearing way, and cheerful little hatchback. And I think there's plenty of room in the market for cars like this. You have the MG3 right in front of us. You know, they still have your Suzuki Swifts, Mazda 2s and others. You know, so there are clearly people who want a small car that's versatile. Our car at the moment's in Astro Grey. It's a $520 option over clear white. You know, and it just blends in. There's nothing to stand out about it. You can get other colors. You can obviously get Aurora Black, Sparkling Silver, or you might want to stand out a little more with Signal Red, Sport Blue, or maybe Adventurous Green. Those are all $520 options as well. Alright, let's see if we can get a little bit of a go here. It's an 80 zone, but foot to the floor. That's foot to the floor. Come on. Oh yeah, see, she can get going. I mean, look, it's just, you're just driving, it's you in the car, and I don't know, I doubt people are going to buy this for that sort of thing, but it gets up and going. We're doing okay. So look, you can still bring a smile to your face.
All things considered, the Picanto GT-Line is a nice, friendly and honest little hatchback. It's perfect for quick runs to the shops, a decent city car, or a first car that will do the mundane, but also a ton of fun without getting you into trouble in the process. While not quite a habanero or a vindaloo, I think it still lives up to its name.
Sure. So for the moment, I think that's it for this one. A big thank you to Kia Australia for letting me have their fun little car for a period, and also Exhaust Notes Australia for letting me review this car for them. My usual spiel here, but do get onto the website, check out my written review as well, check out all our other reviews. We've got a ton of great cars coming that I'm sure you're going to want to check out. So yeah, get on there, get on all our socials, leave a comment, do all those things. We want to hear from you, we want to engage. We're also obviously on Facebook, X and LinkedIn and Instagram, so do check us out. But yeah, so thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Looking forward to it. Cheers.